So what's up, everybody? I'm back. I should probably get my chat pulled up on my phone, shouldn't I? I have a feeling I'm going to have some people commenting on this one, so I want to be here for it. Okay, chat room is pulled up. So as you can see, we've got Meatball back on screen. I just found out the other day that Nikachu has a cat named Chubby Meatball. So if you're watching this, Nikachu, I'm sorry I named my spider something similar to your cat. I had no idea your cat was named Chubby Meatball. That's adorable, by the way. This was totally based on a dream, as I've mentioned before, where I had a dream where she was made out of 2 meatballs and a bunch of spaghetti for legs, because my brain's kind of weird. So anyway, we'll do our normal stuff at the beginning. Don't forget to follow on Twitter at SkySpider. YouTube is Jade Skywalker, my full name. And you can find all my music on all streaming and download sites under the name EDH Kernel. Having some issues with Pretzel today, so just kind of my music playing in the background if any of it comes through on the speakers. I think it might be too quiet to pick up. So what I wanted to do today is show people the way I design EDH decks. I've had a lot of people asking what goes into my design. Since I build decks so frequently, I think I design about 1 or 2 new decks every couple days. I get a lot more enjoyment out of the building of the deck than the playing of it sometimes. So I also get comments about how my decks are almost always great without playtesting. So I wanted to show my process, how I go about this, like what goes into a deck. So I asked my wife to pick 2 random colors of Magic. I also told her don't pick green-white, since that's my favorite thing, and everybody knows I'm experienced with the green-white. So she picked green-black. So first things first when you're designing a deck is figure out what you've got commander-wise. So I went ahead and pulled up all of my green-black legendary creatures. So this is everyone I've got that could be a potential deck. Now I want to eliminate the ones that I know are going to be too difficult, I don't have the cards for, aren't going to be powerful enough. The partner commanders are the first ones I'm going to pull. I don't see them working too well with each other. Sorry, I still have water on the ear from my shower. Slimefoot's going to get his own thing in a little while after that playthrough the other day. Gitrog is super specialized. It's not a good example of a new deck. Ishkana I really want to sit with and spend some time on, so that's going to be a longer one. Nath of the Guiltleaf is a really good deck to work with. It can be tier 1 if you do it right. It's not too fun to play against. I'm trying to find something where people aren't going to rage quit against me. So I'm going to go ahead and pull him out of this running. So I've got these 4 left. Glissa, Jade, Sapling, and Mazirek. Mazirek I've been wanting to build for a while, kind of leaning toward this one. I had a really good paper deck from Mazirek in the past. So, let's see, Sapling's another specialty deck. I really just kind of play this in a Doran deck. Yeah, let's go ahead and take that one out of the running. Jade can be a little specialized. I'm actually thinking I don't have the cards I need to do him. And then Glissa is a more Voltron strategy. So again, tiering a little too specialized. I want to do something good in general. So let's go ahead and work with Mazirek here. I was leaning toward this one ahead of time, so I'm kind of glad it worked out. So when you start with designing a deck, one of the first things I highly recommend doing is going to a site called EDH Rec. It's edhrec.com. You can go up to the top, you can type in any commander, pull them up. It's going to look at every single deck type there is with this commander. And you can like specialize it based on these. These will tell you what themes are popular. Or you can just stay general. And then I'll tell you, these are like the signature cards of the deck. These are the top cards you'll find in like 50% or more of the decks usually. And then I'll break it down. Like, here's the creatures you normally see in this deck. Like, it'll go all the way down to, I think, about 20% is where the cutoff is. Let's go to a little below 20. And like, here's all the instants that people play in this deck. Like, every one of these, you've got like the paper price next to it. And, like, this will really give you an idea of like things you don't want to miss when you're building the deck. It's not a really good thing to use for like complete deck design. You may leave out like some niche cards that you really like using. That said, it's going to make sure you don't miss anything. So we're going to go back to Mazirek here. I'm going to take a look in here and make sure there's nothing that I may want from Mazirek that I don't currently own. Like, I don't have a Smothering Abomination. I'm actually surprised to see Rayhan's a card included. Actually, no, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. See, I wouldn't have thought of that on my own. So that definitely jogged my memory. Yeah, so far all of these make perfect sense. Another one I might not have clued in on my own is the Ramanep Excavator. Because we have the sacrifice theme, we're going to want to play lands from the graveyard to reuse our fetch lands. Yeah, every single one of these makes perfect sense. So yeah, this is always my reference when first building a deck. There's one I'm missing. I don't have a Primal Growth right now. Let's actually jump over here and add that to my next order. I just made an order, so all of my little things I always check are gone. We'll go for budget on this one. Don't have a Bone Splinters, but it's not really necessary. I'm not going to play Pox. So everyone sacrifices a third of each of their permanents. Includes lands. I'm not putting Smokestacks on the deck. That just tilts people and makes them want to rage quit. Golgari Germination. I like that a lot. I swear I should get sponsored by Card Hoarder with how often I have them in my stream. Ooh, we have a 2-cent foil. I'm going for the foil. Always go for those 2-cent foils if you can find them. And then do we have any lands? I don't know. I haven't picked up the tainted ones yet. I found in paper I don't really use them that much. I know I'm going through this kind of fast, but I don't want to bore you with this part. I wonder if Path to Ancestry gets a lot of use. I don't know many insects. Maybe the Shaman's part. Okay, so check EDH Rec. That was step 1. I'm going to order those 2 cards real quick. Let me make sure they haven't gotten this back in stock yet. I'm trying to pick up a deck that the professor was talking about earlier today, but there was a buyout. Keep checking to see if these are going back up. Oh, it's not in stock, I think. Yeah, it's still out of stock, and the price is going up. Yay, gotta love this shit. So I have some store credit I'm going to use on these. Because we definitely want to put these on the deck when we're building. So those will show up in a minute here. You're going to have to watch me database those. So one of the very first things I do when I'm working on a deck is I do my land base. With every deck, it's fairly similar the way I do it. We're going to look for all the dual lands that we can put in here. Your mileage may vary. If you can't afford the fancier ones, don't feel bad about it. You're going to be fine with like lands that come into play tapped. Go try to find the ones that gain life if you can, or the temples, the scry. Those are definitely the better ones. Because we're doing Mazirek, we want stuff that sacrifices. So actually, we'll come back to those later. Any black deck you want Bajuka Bog. It's a given. Command Tower goes in every 2 or more color deck. So like no way around that. And some of these we will get back to in a second. Oh, my cards are here. Look how fast this is. Yay, store credit. I'm going to go add those to my database real quick so next time I'm building a deck I know I've got them. Pardon my dorkiness doing this. Golgari Germination, foil, and Primal Growth. True story, I picked up a foil Primal Growth many years ago, before it ever had any price spikes in paper. And when I saw it had spiked to $40, I threw it in my trade notebook. And people kept trying to trade me for it. They'd like pull it out. And then when we look up the price, they would promptly put it right the fuck back in my trade binder. Because, yeah, no one wanted that card for that price. So with basics, when I'm starting on a 2-color deck, I just add 10 of each. 3 colors, I'll just add 4 of each to start with. And again, these lands are perfectly fine if you can't afford the more expensive ones. You basically want to run about, in a 2-color deck, I would say 6 to 10 dual lands. In 3-color, you want to run probably about 5 of each of the shared colors. So that gives you 15. If you have access to a cradle, it's always good. Now, the bounce lands I'm a real big fan of. These kind of count as having an extra land in your hand, even if you don't. They're always good to work with. The man lands are fun. They're definitely worth to come into play tapped. Here's one of the life gain ones. The damage lands are really good. They come into play untapped. You don't always have to take damage for them. If you're running 3 colors, I always throw in a Mana Confluence. So trying to make sure I don't miss any while I'm talking here. Shock lands are usually a must. I'm curious about that Path to Ancestry. I may double check my creature types afterwards. I'm a big fan of Reflecting Pool. Reliquary Tower goes in every deck, I don't care what it is. It's one of my always includes. Shizo is a good way to get a win condition in black. Gives your commander fear. Unless your opponents are playing black artifact creatures, they just can't block it. You should always run some land destruction in your land. Now that we got all these fancy legendary flip lands, they're a lot more required. Before I could say you could get away with them, but not anymore. Urborg is kind of situational. I don't play it unless the deck's completely reliant on it. And then the check lands are another one I consider a must in 2-color decks. Oh, thank God, my right ear finally popped. Well, this worked out good, where it was exactly 37. So after I get 37 land, I get my 3 mana rocks that are auto-includes. Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, and then in 2-color decks, I add the Signet. When it's 1-color decks, I can't add a Lotus Flower to this deck. Good try. For 1-color decks, we add the diamonds. It's an inside joke, everybody. Don't worry about it. So 1-color decks will get the diamond instead of a Signet. And then if it's 3 or more colors, that spot goes for Chromatic Lantern. So you're just in time for a deck tech, bro. So that gives us 40 cards. That's the land base I always go with. I've tried like messing around with this number off and on, and unless it's a deck that specializes in something, like if you're playing like a Land Matters deck, you're going to run more. I try never to really futz with this number. Every time I've messed with it, it's bitten me in the ass. So that's my number. It's 37 lands, and then your 3 mana rocks. We'll probably have more mana rocks in the finished deck, but this is just your base. None of these cards are going to be cut. Absolutely none of them. We may play with the basic land numbers. Like if I might pull like 2 swamps and add 2 forests, if the deck is heavily more green. But yeah, this is where we start. The Squirtle thing is going to be on Sunday. It's a very special timed event. Do you know what time it starts, Rachel?
What?
The Squirtle event on Sunday?
I think 2 o'clock our time, your time.
Yeah, East Coast, it runs 2 to 5. So that's the window you're going to find the Squirtles. And definitely keep your eyes peeled for shiny ones and maybe even ones with sunglasses. I'm so excited for Squirtle Squad. You're probably not going to find Squirtles that often. They're very, very, very rare normally. There's our Pokemon Go talk on the Magic stream. It's okay. Meatball loves Pokemon Go. Okay, so we got our basics. Now we want to look at a couple other very important parts of a deck. We want draw spells. Oh, we don't have our colored things on. Black, green, and colorless only. And we want cards with the word draw in them. So there's lots of good options in land. I'm not going to look into land for this deck. Sensei's Divining Top is nice. Skull Clamp is going to be a big one. We're going to be sacrificing creatures, so that's definitely nice. Vampiric Rites, sack a creature to draw a card and gain a life. At the moment, I'm just grabbing everything that looks good, that fits this this part of the deck. I wouldn't count stuff like Mind Stone in card draw, because it's only going to draw one single time. You want repeated stuff. Yeah, you're going to be out there at the hottest point in the day. Sadly, this event is on a hot day. See if you can do it in the mall. They're going to show up everywhere. Smuggler's Copter is another one I probably wouldn't put in the slot. It's looting. It's not technically drawing. Sylvan Library is a good option. I hate that this shows me cards that are out of my color wedge. Yeah, your head's probably going to peel. Use some sunblock, motherfucker. Sorry about my voice. It's dry throat from medication time. Bestiary is one of my favorite cards in green for card draw. This is a single time draw, but you can count it if you want to. Read the Bones is very, very good. Phyrexian Arena is amazing. Fecundity, well, I'm going to be making other people sacrifice stuff. So this may be too much benefit for opponents. This one, though, We're going to be putting counters on everything. So that counts as a creature buff and a card draw. I just realized I should show Mazirek a little closer. So Mazirek is 5 mana in Golgari for 2/2 flyer, Insect Shaman. Whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, so you, your opponents, anyone, if anything gets sacrificed except Mazirek, put a +1/+1 counter on every creature you control. That's pretty badass. So we're thinking +1/+1 counters, and we're thinking sacrifice in this deck. Let's see here. Trying to think about stuff that's going to be frequent card draw. Solemn is always a good card to include in just about any deck. Erebos is a good card draw. It costs you life, but it's reliable card draw. Pretty cheap too.
Zoidberg.
Oh, is Zoidberg coming over for the stream? He's fine over here. Death Reap Ritual should be really good for this deck, I'm thinking. Hi, Zoidberg. How are you? I have a Zoid coming to visit. If you're in colors that don't have a lot of draw, artifact draw like Mind's Eye is amazing. This makes clues, which you have to sack. I think I'm down with that. Which means I should go back and add Tireless Tracker too. Where'd he go? You're leaving already? Try to make the cards bigger for the stream. You know what, Greater Good might work as well. You are sitting so awkwardly right now. Say hello, Zoidberg. Hello. He's so cute. I'm thinking about Memory Jar, but I don't know yet. I don't like the one-time use on it. Shamanic Revelation is beautiful. Staff of Nen's always great. This is usually an auto-include in a lot of decks. If you don't have Planeswalkers, Immortal Sun's really good. We'll switch out Staff of Nen for that at the end. If we don't have any Planeswalkers. This guy's going to be good because creatures are going to be dying. Rishkar's Expertise should be an auto-include in just about every green deck. That thing just does work. And then Decree of Pain can pull some double duty because it wipes the board and you draw a card for every creature that died. So we do need some board wipes. So let's go take a look at this. We have way too many cards that we're going to need. So I'm going to cut the card draw down to 7 cards. Watch those claws, please, Zoidberg. Solemn's not in here as card draw, by the way. This is the boring part where I think about these and cut everything. I think we can actually go without Staff of Nen in here. These 2 cards are just, they pull their weight on their own. God, I don't have balls because I would have just been kicked in them. So what am I looking at now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I want to get at least 2 more of these out. This one's got double duty. I can count this for another slot that we'll get to later. Go without the journal. Cheaper card draw should really be preferred. I really like that this is in the 3-drop slot, this is in the 3-drop slot, this is in the 3-drop slot. Zoidberg almost does have bat wings, but they're just too small to fly. Okay, so we got our card draw added. Next thing we want to look at is removal. I definitely favor removal like an exile. Exiling is going to do a lot more work for you. So here's our little friend that just got banned in Legacy today. This is good for keeping stuff out of graveyards. So he's one I like to consider when I'm playing Golgari. We're going to have the benefit of a lot of options we wouldn't normally have because we're going through the sacrifice theme in a little bit. Fade into Antiquity's nice. I like that. Sever the Bloodline. This looks like it wouldn't be good in Commander. So it says exile target creature and all other creatures the same name as it. Honestly, it's 4 mana to exile any creature, and you can play it again from the graveyard for a flashback cost. So this is like 2-time removal. Very, very useful card. Vraska's Contempt is another really good one. A little pricey at the moment. So again, your mileage may always vary on these. Ulamog is nice if we can get enough mana for it. It can be counted as a removal spell in some decks, since it exiles 2 permanents. Okay, so we looked at that. Let's look at Destroy. I like Slaughter Pact a lot. It's a little situational since it can't hit black creatures. Black's always got that thing of not wanting to destroy its own kind. That said, Go for the Throat is definitely a good option. I like Malicious Affliction sometimes, but committing 2 black to it's a little difficult. Yeah, the song you heard was definitely from the college era. Abrupt Decay is not always good in Commander, because that little 3 or less caveat on it. Beast Within is wonderful. Crossing Grip is wonderful. Rex Sage. Notice how we're starting to cluster around the 3 drops, by the way. When we finish the deck, we're going to have our mana curve peak at the 3. Kind of down with Ravenous Chupacabra. Acidic Slime is great. Frailties I like to count as removal. Her Destroy Artifact or Enchantment card is so good. You can also use her for card draw and making mana dorks. Alright, have fun, catch many Pokemons. Vraska also kind of takes care of a lot of removal for us, so she's another good option. Forget what this Vraska does. Oh, she destroys creatures. She's definitely a maybe. I don't know if we're going to need her, though. This Vraska, though. Oh, this Vraska is so good. She's going to get a lot of footwork in this deck. Okay, so while we've got Destroyed up, I'm also going to pull Board Wipes. I love Endrik's Wake. I usually cut it because it's so expensive. But when I mix it into the deck, I'm usually thankful I've got it. In fact, it's one-sided. It's just so useful. Damnation is totally an auto-add. No Mercy is great. Pernicious Deed. It's one you don't see too terribly often. Hero's Downfall, totally missed that the first pass. And Oblivion Stone. Okay, so I just did 2 at once, so sorry if it gets a little confusing here. I want to look at about 6 to 8 targeted removals and a minimum of 3 board wipes. So with board wipes, we've already got Decree of Pain. That one's pulling our double duty. Let's see what our other board wipes are. Damnation, Pernicious Deed, and Oblivion Stone. So we've got 4. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So 4 is good. I think I want to cut one of them though. I think it's going to be Pernicious Deed. Where'd it go? There it is. Oblivion Stone is a good one to always have, just in case someone happens to play Iona. It's a colorless way to deal with Iona. And you can activate it the turn you play it, unlike in the Veneral's Disc, where you have to wait a turn. This will just destroy everything right away, and also it's Planeswalkers. And like all good board wipes, it leaves lands alone. You never want to be that player. So let's look at our targeted removal now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's a lot. So we need to cut 7 of these. I'm going to try to keep the deck kind of themed up with the Golgari field. So I'm going to pick Vraska's over Fraley's. Actually, we need to hit 8. I didn't see her down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to count that as removal. Not in here. So hang on, what am I at now? Lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Try and pull the higher cost ones. One of the good things is when you're counting these out, if it's on a creature, you can kind of skip the count a little, you can fudge the number there. None of this has to be exact, these are just general things. There's always room for flexibility and creativity in deck design. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at this number, this feels good. So we've got our board wipes, we've got our target removal, we've got card draw, we need a ramp. I'm going to search for things that mention land. We'll get back to up there in just a little bit. So we want to look for a ramp that's going to work in this deck. Can't get that stupid mouse over to go away. There we go. I'm a big fan of Thaumatic Compass. Just kind of once you don't need it anymore, you get a Maze of Ith out of it. Let's see if I can count these as we go this time. Luckily we're playing green, so we get a lot of good options. If your color doesn't have a lot of options, don't feel bad adding Worn Power Stone, Grand Dynamo, Gilded Locust. Stuff like that is really, really, really good. It's just green has some of the better options. Kura Tri-Builder is great. We're probably going to want this Crucible of Worlds. I don't know if I'll count that as ramp though. Cultivate and Kadama's Reach are probably the 2 best ramp spells in the game. So I always recommend adding both of those if you're in green. This is really good. We already established Primal Growth, we just bought that. Yep, Song of the Dryads, it's one of my favorite removal cards. Doesn't come up on removal searches though. Deals with problematic commanders and keeps them in play. Since we can't tuck them anymore, that's a really good way of dealing with them. Okay, so I'm giving away some of my personal secret deck tech. Into the Wilds is one of the best cards in Commander, and no one fucking seems to realize it. So it's an enchantment, so it's really hard to remove. It's kind of unassuming at the table. Most people won't burn their removal on it anyway. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your deck. If it's a land, you can put it onto the battlefield. So what that means is you're not revealing it to the other players. Only you get to see what this top card is. If it's a land, you get to ramp. It doesn't count as your land play for the turn, so if you draw another land, you can play it. And it gets your dead draws out of the way. If you're just going to top deck a land, you get to your next card, which is probably a spell. It gets you through your deck faster, it gets you much more land, and it does work for free every turn once it's in play. It's one of my pet cards. I've been using it for every year since it's been available. What's that, 2004? 14? So I've been using that for 4 years now. I put it in just about everything. It's something I really think more people should be playing. So there's one of my big deck tech secrets for you. So this one's expensive, but in this deck it's going to pay off since we're putting counters on everything to make it bigger. And you're not really looking to play bigger spells every turn. You're looking to play multiple smaller spells. That's the path to victory, not just playing one big thing every turn. So it looks like that's all the really good ramp we're going to find. Yeah, don't play Vorinclex unless you want to lose your friends. That's always really good for. So with ramp, we want to cut that to around 6 to 8 cards. Let's see what we got here, because I totally lost count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got 9, so not too bad. I'm not counting the Crucible. Again, we're just kind of looking at the shell of the deck right now. You triple check how this works. Okay, this is really good and it's the same cost, so I'm going to pull Cultivate out of the deck for it. I'm just picking Kadana's Reach over Cultivate because it's shiny. There's no other reason behind it. Nissa I'm a little iffy on. I really like her +1. I just don't know how long she's going to stick around in a deck like this. I think I'm going to leave it at that. So we have our shell of our deck right now, 71 cards. This gives us 29 cards now to totally play around and go for a theme and really personalize the deck. So this is your artistic stage. So again, with Mazirek, we want to sacrifice things. So that's what we're going to be looking for. Some of this is going to make me change out the land base, just because of fetch lands. But we want things that say sacrifice. Blighted Fin and Blighted Woodland are our first two options. For some of this, I'm going to be doing these changes on the fly. Other ones we'll go back later and change them up. I want Field of Ruin. It's good land destruction. I don't know what I want to pull for that yet. I'll have to go back for that one. Marsh Flats we want. We do want these fetch lands. Misty Rainforest. Phyrexian Tower is very nice. Psychic creature to get 2 black. So we're going to play all the fetch lands we can. Let's see, I believe that was 3 of each. So it's Marsh Flats, Polluted Delta. I'm missing a black one. Black, white, black, blue, black, blue. I'm missing the red one. So we've got 3 of each, so I'm going to pull out 3 of each basic for those. We don't want to ever cut our basics too low because then Path to Exile gets too good against us, and what is it? We can't play any fetch cards. Let's see, the other one we added was Phyrexian Tower, so I'll pull 1 more swamp. So our lands are back where they should be. So now we're looking after lands for more fun sacrifice abilities. Viscerous here looks great. Caustic Caterpillars, some more extra removal. Jainer's Edict, Diabolic Edict, Diabolic Intent. Vampire Hexmage, most people don't consider this right away. She auto-kills Planeswalkers. Something to think about there. Ashnod's Altar is great, but I'm going to go for another option instead of that one. It's even better. Oh, hi, Aranthal. Yes, I can read your name perfect now. Thank you for changing off that really dark blue. We are doing a deck tech on Mazirek. At the moment, I'm grabbing a whole bunch of cool, fun cards. So, Oath of Liliana. Most people don't think about playing this unless they have a ton of Planeswalkers. But read what it does when it goes into the battlefield. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. For 1 mana more than a Diabolic Edict, you get basically an extra Fleshbag Marauder. It's going to hit everybody. A lot of these can actually replace cards we've already got in the deck, too. Like certain land fetches and things like that. Which card was the good card you were referring to? Birthing Pod just seems gross in here. Oath of Liliana, yes. I'm glad I'm not the only one that likes it. See, now we can slide the Tamiyo's Journal back in, because we're in the free-form part of the deck. Revel's going to pull double duty in here. It's a win condition if a board wipe goes off and I just happen to get a ton of treasures. Otherwise, the treasures are extra things to sacrifice. So thinking about stuff that pulls double duty is a really big deal. I'm not going to run the regular Demonic Tutor in here, because Diabolic Intent and Sidisi do a really good job working with the synergy of the deck. Oh, I picked this up for something else, but this is beautiful. Sack a creature to proliferate. Oh, I like that. Oh, I wish I could run this in here. Stupid blue mana symbol and red mana symbol. Shieldred seems pretty dang good. And It That Betrays, of course. Okay, so I've got all those added. We're sitting at 102 cards. I'm not counting Mazirek. So the absolute last thing to do, this one takes a little while, so, is you go through your entire collection. One last pass through.
Sorry.
What happened to Zoidberg?
I accidentally kicked him.
Don't kick the Zoidberg, even by accident. Poor little Zoid. So last step is you go through the deck all the way through. Or go through your collection all the way through. Make sure you didn't miss anything. Because we were working with a lot of filters. There may be cards we didn't think to add. Some stuff that may be kind of fun. So yeah, this part's a little on the slow side. Especially when you got a collection as big as mine's gotten. There's still a few more steps after this. But we're past the hard part of it. I love Tainted Strike. Can't wait to find a deck where this gets to win stuff for me. Yeah, selling a mana crypt to buy him isn't that bad an idea. I really like Reanimate. We're going to have a ton of stuff in graveyards. So having a cheap, efficient animation spell is good. Seriously thinking about Birds of Paradise. A couple mana dorks is never a bad idea. Elves of Deep Shadow. And a Fentorn Elf. Kind of picked one of each color and then any color one. So we don't need to really worry about tutors. We've got some really good ones in the deck already. Are you talking about MTGO foils? If you were here for the beginning, we actually bought a foil for this deck, which I'm going to catch as we scroll through because I totally forgot to put it in, for 2 cents. So a lot of foils are just 1 penny more. So yeah, you can still foil out a deck pretty well. But you can also get non-foil masterpieces, which are much cheaper. I swear, I'm such a masterpiece fan. Yeah, it's totally ridiculous. Oh, we forgot Lightning Greaves. Bit of an essential card right there. It's another card coming up that will work great in this deck. Strionic Resonator. When Mazirek triggers, we can trigger Mazirek a second time. Oh, we totally missed a card. I know it's up here. I'm ashamed of myself for missing this. Can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. There it is, Hardened Scales. Oh, how could we miss that? We should have done a search for counters as well. I'm embarrassed I missed it twice. Yeah, isn't that ridiculous? I got my non-foil mana crypt for like $2.50. Honestly, I like the non-foil ones too. You can really appreciate the art more. I'm so tempted to put Bitter Blossom in the deck, but I put it in every deck. Blood Artist is a good ad. Down to $1.80, yeah. And like then you find random stuff for Pauper, like Palace Sentinel is $11. Like I really don't understand the pricing in MTGO. But I'm glad most of it's cheap as hell. I still haven't gotten my Chalice of the Voids because they're like $24. Silly bird, don't chew on Addison. Get away from there. Maybe he did deserve to be accidentally kicked. Oh, for the chalice, yeah. I need to get a playset of 4 for Legacy. I'm kind of worried the bannings are going to make the prices go up eventually, but I can't afford them right now. Survival is always a nice card to consider if you have access to it. Late game, it'll let you discard creatures you don't need because they're too tiny and irrelevant anymore to go get the ones you do need. Too many people abuse it as just a way to get Krager off Behemoth, though. Which we could put in here, but I don't think this deck's going to need them. Golgari Germination costs 3. Yeah, we totally should have searched for counters. Missing a bunch of these cards. I think we're going to want Double League Season 2. Wish this said exile the token at the end of the turn, or sacrifice it, not exile it. I totally played the shit out of it. Well, let me see what this artwork is. Still not gonna work? Oh yeah, I've got that copy of Everflowing Chalice. It is gorgeous. It's so pretty. So you can see why I said this part takes a little while. Yeah, this is one of the last steps for building a deck. Oh, I'm missing wrestling tonight. Oh well. I only care if I miss a pay-per-view. Ah, one of my favorite cards. That token is a good thing to be sacrificing. Extra board wipe I hadn't considered. See, searching by the filters can only show you so many things. You're going to miss little bits here and there that you definitely want to go back and look at. As I said earlier, those numbers I start with are just for the shell of the deck. The bits that make it work, basically. Yeah, Everflowing Chalice is such a good card, too. Something to always remember when you're in green. Wood Elves can fetch dual lands. Very, very useful information there. I think Champion of Lambholt is a good ad. Works with counters, makes shit unblockable. Eternal Witness is almost an auto ad on green decks. I gotta find a deck that Squirrel Nest fits in. I'm missing one card though. See how much it is on here. Am I thinking of the right card? I am not thinking of the right card. What is the card that goes infinite with Squirrel Nest? Can you help me out here? It's the creature comes into play on tap a land. was thinking it was Earthlink, but it's not Earthlink. Earthcraft, thank you. Yay, the power of crowdsourcing. $241, yeah, that's going in my next order. Been wanting one for years. There's the other card we bought. Journey to Eternity is also nice. Yeah, that's expensive for MTGO, $2 whole. Hope and Rayhan, one that I wouldn't have seen for myself. And that is why we check EDH Rec before we build a deck. Shout at me if I pass anything I should be considering. Oh, another random mechanic to include in an EDH deck. Monarch just seems to spice up games. You get stale games moving again. If you can throw Monarch into your deck somewhere, definitely put it in. It's never a bad idea. Lifelink's not a bad idea. Parallel Lives does not do +1/+1 counters. Waiting on doubling season. This could work, but we're going to be more aggressive. This is a stall card. Really good in Atraxa, though. You can pull off a counter in Fog. Oh, Corp Jack Menace. Hello. Almost missed it. Creekwood Leech could be nice, but yeah, it gives us tokens to sack. I can work with that. Eldrazi Monument gives us a sack trigger every turn. Can't believe I missed that one when I was going for sacrifice things. The Black Market's a solid maybe. Yeah, my Monarch include in this deck was Custodian Lich. Whenever you become the Monarch, you can make someone sack a creature, which includes when you first play him. Living Death would be nice, but it'll screw up Mazirek. Doubling Season. I'm not going to bother with Primal Vigor. It usually backfires pretty spectacularly. Let me give Spider Spawning a try in here. See if we can make it fit. Sadism is good for creature protection. So yeah, as I'm going through this, you can see why this step in the deck build is so important. Just to make sure you haven't missed anything. If you try and do this step first, though, you're going to end up with like a 400 card deck, which usually happens to me. Because I tend to skip straight to this step a lot of times. I think Lord of Extinction might do some good. We might have full graveyards here. Those two cards are really good. Rebuild is a lot of fun to play. trying to remember why I don't have the black-green version of these creatures. And then I remembered it totally sucks. It's a 7/7 that comes in with 2 -1/-1 counters. And you can pay a black and green and remove a counter to regenerate it. Once you're out of counters, it's done. It can't regenerate anymore. Just not a very valuable card in this format. Yeah, your deck would be a little bonkers with it. Might make you sad, might make you happy, but I do have a Joyride deck on here now. You're not alone. Yay, happy. I figured. I'll show her to you in just a minute here. Let me finish up with this deck. I've only played one game with her and I got a really bad draw, so I have no idea how it works. Like how well it works, I should say. Yeah, you're destroy, not sacrifice. This is an interesting thought. I don't know. I don't know if the cost justifies it. I don't think it does. As I said, I'm not going to put in Crater Hoof, even though I really want to. Did put in it that betrays, though. Well, I can totally talk on camera. Genesis Wave's a nice ad. I like that. Okay, we've got 131, so we gotta cut 32 cards. Let me jump over to this Joyride real quick. So this is what I went with for Joyride. Land base, nothing too terribly surprising. Except that I finally got my Scalding Tarn, my Steam Vents, and my Volcanic Island. Oh yeah. You gotta have all the Masterpiece cards. Fancy Snapcaster Mage. That's my favorite one. Needs a soccer ball though. Fancy Reality Shift with Ugin on it. Only a penny. Gotta love that kind of shit. I love my Fade Spinner. I try to put her in like all my decks. Deck fading seemed to make sense. Yeah, I went for a little more flexibility than you do. I'm big on flexibility in decks, because you never know what you're going to be playing against. The top of the deck is where it really starts to show off what it can do. Hellkite Tyrant for a win condition, Locust God for a win condition, Niv Mizzet for a win condition, and Blightsteel Colossus, with the Mycosynth Golem to make him free if possible. So that's how I'm running her. So let's go back down here to Mazirek. Oh, we know who the deck is now. Let's crawl Death Priest. Let's title our deck properly. Okay, so now we're going to be cutting out the last of the cards. The very first thing I want to do is take a look at the analysis up here. You can do this with a normal deck pretty simply just by laying your cards out. You want to look at that mana curve, and as you can see, my 5 drops are higher than my 4. I want to get that adjusted. Everything else on here looks fine. And then I've got 61 black mana symbols to 52 green. That's going to change as we cut cards. But at the moment, we would want to pull one forest to put in one extra swamp. Just because we're going to see black more than we see green in here. I took Lavish out of Joyra because it doesn't trigger her ability. The cards are not artifacts as they're being cast. They're only colorless as they're being cast. It's a pretty big distinction. So I've got my deck sorted by CMC. This is just the way I prefer doing it. Go ahead and pull those mana dorks out. I think I'm going to leave the Viscers here. I think that can do a lot of work. We've got token doublers, so that's not as impactful. A lot of what I'm doing at this point is just kind of feeling things out, seeing what I like and what I don't like. At this stage, I've got a good feel for how the deck's going to function. You can see kind of what fits and kind of what doesn't. It's kind of like starting with a, like doing a sculpture out of marble. Like you have to see what's not part of the statue and chip it away. That's kind of how I look at my deck building. I like Harrow so much that I'll pull Kodama's Reach for it. Harrow fits the theme of the deck a lot more. Oh yeah, we've got Inspiring Call, so we don't need Heroic Intervention. They do basically the same thing. Just Inspiring Call is better in this deck, because you draw a card for each one of them. Sifter of Skulls is one I saw in the EDH rec. Seems like a really good idea. Mix creatures that have sack ability built right into them. I'm not going to be that person. I'm cutting one of the two of these. A lot of the cuts I make are just to make my deck not as mean, because I want people who play against me to want to play against me. There's some good articles on that theory on the internet. Under the, I think it's called the 75% theory. I can't remember who came up with it, but it's worth looking into. So we need to kind of cut heavy on the 5 drops. That's where we've got a lot of extra chaff we need to cut. Okay, so that was my first pass through the deck. You can see we got about half the cards cut we needed to. So that's always a good sign. Now it gets a little more difficult. Every cut you make, the next one is harder to make, because you're down to just the cards that are really amazing in the deck. And when I'm doing this, you kind of want to leave the stuff from the original shell that we put together. You want to leave those untouched, because those are the ones you need in the deck for it to function. It's like removing the wheels from a car to make it lighter. It's like you kind of needed those, buddy. Birthing Pod is one of those lose friends cards. Keep checking the chat to make sure I'm not missing anything. I tend to focus in kind of hard when I'm doing these. So we've got Toxic Deluge. I think I'm going to remove Decree of Pain for that, because I like the 3-drop a lot better. still love the whipping, good. I can live without the Crucible. It's not necessary. That affects opponent's stuff too. I don't want to be giving people too much help. Yeah, that's totally what this is for. Definitely go back and start at the beginning of this video once it's up on YouTube. This is everything I know about deck design. Most of you seem to know that I can build a deck and turn it around in a day or so, and have my decks be great right out of the gate, like my original designs. So I wanted to share how I do this, like what the thought process is. So we're down to 7 more cards to cut. I'm going to look at these numbers again. It's important to keep rechecking these. So you can see my curve is real heavy on the 3s now. I may want to take a look at that and cut nothing 3 drops for the last few cards. I'd get it to 19, which is still a curve, but it's a smoother curve. Let's take a look at our 3s. Seems to be where we're bloated. So these 3 cards all do the exact same thing. 2 of them can give me a potential creature. Oath of the Liana, we only have 1 Planeswalker in the deck. She's not going to do as much. Ophiomancer, as much as I love it, I just don't think it's going to work in this deck. God, so many 3-drops. God, I picked this up for the deck and I'm not even going to keep it in. Oh, it was 2 cents. It's no big deal. So just like just my graveyard? Yeah. I don't know, this still does a lot of work in this deck. Because I can reanimate Fleshbag or Merciless Executioner over and over again. Which I really do like. Sorry if I'm jumping back and forth, it's just, I keep looking at different things. I think I've got enough land fetch, I don't need to worry about Solemn in this deck. It's a card I almost never cut, but I don't think he's as good in here because we've got like Yavimaya Elder, Secure Tribe Elder, Harrow, Primal Growth. Like we've got a lot of other options that do the same thing, but more efficiently. Still trying to look at just 3 drops. Bonus Hunger is amazing in here, by the way. You can get like 5 to 10 sacrifices out of this card if you play it when you have City's Blessing. So just an FYI, as soon as I finish this, I'm literally going to play it immediately to show you how well these things usually work on the first try. I'm reluctant to pull out No Mercy because it keeps people off your back. I don't know. No, I am going to pull Whisper. I'm going to try to pull Whisper. So we need to pull 2 more cards. Something in here just doesn't fit. That said, your last 2 cards are always going to be like the most horrible cuts. You're only going to be able to pull good things. When you get to this stage in a deck, the only thing that's left are good cards. Every card is amazing. Yahenni's going to be cut. 1 more card. really iffy on the reanimate, but I'd like to keep it. I'm trying to verbalize as much of this thought process as I can, but my brain goes a lot faster than my mouth can. That's why a few times I've stuttered out things that I've tried to say. I think Tireless Tracker might be our last cut. I really like the clues, but yeah, he's our last cut. So I've got Mazirek finished. That is how long it takes for me to design a deck from scratch. Absolutely none of that was planned in advance, other than I thought I might use Mazirek. I still have a deck for him sitting on my phone. It's like almost 500 cards. But yeah, this is the finished version. So let's go over to the play lobby and try to run him. How's that sound, Meatball? You want to run some Mazirek? I don't know if I want to ban Tier 1 decks from this matchup. They've been annoying me a lot lately. What do you think, Aranthal? Should I ask no Tier 1 decks when I put the host up? I tend to make decks not look very good when they already are. Watch, Mazirek is considered Tier 1, and I have no idea about that. Like some special online version. He was like, what, $8, I want to say? One of the more expensive cards I bought. What's funny is when I put that little comment up there and like I'll see someone join the game and then immediately drop. Yep, someone just dropped because they saw the no Tier 1. I didn't see the screen name. Is that the same person coming back? Maybe they chose a different deck. One more person. We can do this. Meatball, we're going to play some Magic. Rachel, I think Meatball wants a hug. Rachel?
Yes.
I think Meatball wants a hug. Do you want to hug the Meatball?
No, are you still streaming?
Yeah, I'm still streaming.
How much longer?
Just started a game.
Okay. Hug Meatball.
Endrik, Animar, and Rhys. This is an okay hand. I've got a board wipe. Shit gets out of hand, I can make it not out of hand. I'll probably ask for no Tier 1 and we still got an Animar. God, I hope Animar doesn't get out of control. For the record, I fucking hate Animar because almost every single time I end up against Animar, I'm playing Orzhov. And what's Animar's first line of text? Protection from Orzhov. I've seen enough Tier 1 Animars to consider him Tier 1. So I'm going second. So I'm going to play the Verdant Catacombs on 1. I'm not going to pop it at first, though. I'm not going to pop it until I actually need the mana, because I would like to draw more land. If I pop it, there's 1 less land in the deck. It's a very subtle percentage difference, but it's definitely there. If I leave the land in the deck, it's a higher percentage chance of drawing a land on my next turn. So I want to get to 5 as quick as I can. And we can always fetch out Bayou or a basic if we want something that comes into play untapped. Or we can pay the 2 life for the overgrown. Turn 1 Rhys. Arkham Dagston is not very fun. Oh my god. What even? Why would you say that? Is that the one I'm thinking of that fogs? If it's the fog one, you're a horrible human being. Oops, see, we drew land. Debating if I want to cast Blood Artist. I don't think I do. I think I'm just going to wait. Be patient. Want to get to that 5th land. Oh, which one is it then? My apologies. I was thinking about the Fog Commander from Legends. I feel like I've played against the silver player before. This deck is looking very familiar with that lay of the land. Pretty boots. So what's Dagston do again? Ooh, that's a thing. So now I need a land. I'm gonna go after my Bayou. And grab this to stretch it out. There we go. And we'll bestiary. Oh, that one. Yeah, you don't need to get Oracle text. I've seen him. Yeah, I believe he's one of the more broken commanders I've seen over the years. The fact you can sack an Ornithopter and get a fucking 10 cost artifact if you want it. And it's not like put it in your hand, it's like put it into play. Yeah, exactly. Wait, no, you can't get Blightsteel Colossus. I don't think you can kill other people's artifacts. Well, that seems awfully good. Thank you for not hitting me. Terrifying Animar person. Interesting. If it really can kill other people's artifact creatures, that's impressive. Oh, I'm gonna like this player. Wow, that is amazing. Still have to target it though. If it has lightning greaves, it doesn't stop it. Always yield. Yeah, I'll put Rayhan on top. I like him. I have to get a lucky top deck to get a land next turn now. Sadly, I cannot. I like how clear the counters are on here. It's literally an up arrow in green for +1/+1, a down arrow in red for -1/-1, and then square ones for anything else. Yeah, they can get an artifact. It's probably going to end up being a soul ring for most players, though. People need to learn. You got to play more artifacts in your decks. Artifacts make decks amazing. Just got to find the right combination. Make your deck a museum, people. Be historic. No attacking from Rhys. Awesome. Now watch, what else is going to fetch a dual land? So good. Never underestimate the Wood Elves. Attacking with the Wood Elves? Okay, no. Solemn. Original art Solemn. With the player who created Solemn on it. I'm sad they stopped doing that. Like, they were doing that during the little period where I wasn't playing competitive Magic. Now that they're not, it's like, no, I don't get to design a card. Oh, that stays on top. Is it time to get Insecty? Let's bring the insects to the party. Oh yeah. Feel free to sacrifice stuff, people. I am totally down with it. Yeah, sad robot. I still don't know if like my favorite version of altars on it was either Baymax or Wally. Wally is definitely more sad, but Baymax is cuter. Speaking of, if you're not watching the Big Hero 6 cartoon series that just came out, you really should. It's really funny. I'm always curious what tokens different cards make. It always seems to be whatever was in the set the card's from. Which means some of them aren't the greatest looking tokens. And other ones are just amazing looking. And the Mace Meatball's like not moving tonight. Oh, they killed my thing. Derp. I was like, what did they kill? I don't see anything moved on any other battlefields. Doing away with my card advantage. I'll remember that, Rhys. Animar's back. You got 2 jobs. What are you doing with 2 jobs? What are these 2 jobs? No, I'm saying, what are the 2 jobs? Endrik Sar gets so much like card advantage out of all the tokens he makes. I'm really excited to see what he does this game. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 permanents. I need to make some more. Could Rishkar's expertise for 3. Or I could play Dictate of Erebos blind. Or I could Rishkar's expertise and play Dictate of Erebos off of it. That seems like the better option. Yeah, even if you're only drawing 3 cards for this card, it's still really good. And I'll play the Oracle Moldiah off of it, actually. This needs to be shrunk down. And yes, I will happily play that card. Without flying, should I smack someone in the face? Or no, I don't want to make enemies yet. Let's keep it clean for a while. So you're working with meat and dairy, so both parts of the cow. How did I get Mazirek? I fucking cast him 2 turns ago. What the fuck? Mirri's Guile's really good, by the way. If you can't afford a Sylvan Library, Mirri's Guile's really good. Oh my god, Boar's Head. Who sells Boar's Head up here? That is like my favorite fucking lunch meat ever. Like, I worked at a Publix deli in Florida when I was younger, and that's all they sold. And I got fucking hooked on that shit. Like, if you can...
crack.
Yeah, Rachel's saying it's like crack. If you can tell me where the fuck we can get that up here, I'm gonna go buy like 10 pounds tomorrow. Well, they might be closed tomorrow. I'm gonna go buy 10 pounds on Thursday. Like, oh my god, give me some pesto parmesan ham, please.
Yeah, I'm not usually a ham person when I look at ham.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear Rachel. She said she's not normally a ham person, but she loves that ham. Oh my god, my opponent's playing me. How did I get in their deck? I have to explain my inside joke every time it happens. Seriously, how am I in this person's deck? At least I make the good-looking Subrolling tokens. Someone just played me. Price Chopper used to carry it. Well, that used to help me. Who's got it now? You gotta help me out here. You can't tell me there's Boar's Head and then, like, not tell me where I can fucking buy it. That stuff is so good. And now that Hawaiian bread comes in sliced loaves, oh my god, I can make a sandwich with all that shit. I'm not even kidding about buying 10 pounds. I've done it before. What card do you think I was talking about? Oh, he's asking if I'm a spy. Okay, I think I get what he's trolling for there. Either way, it's always funny. She needs longer hair and it needs to be more purple. But the two-tone definitely works. I'm terrible about re-dyeing my hair. I hate bleaching it. My mom's half Native American and I got her hair completely. So my hair is like almost black. My dad was blonde, so like I'm quarter Native American. So my hair is not like perfectly black, but it's almost there. So yeah, it's a bitch to bleach it to get the color to look perfect. What's going on, Guildcaster? Why hasn't Animar killed everybody yet? I've got 10 permanents, so I might try the bonus hunger on the next go around. If the game will progress at all. The internet's still working, so it's not me. Feels like it's me, though. We're still online, right? Someone dropped. What the heck? You're there, you still gotta help me find the boar's head. I'm sorry, it's like crack, I'm fucking jonesing.
Crackhead.
Boar's head.
We gotta do trash.
Yes, after I'm done with the stream, we will totally do trash. It's way too hot to take trash out when the sun's up. We're still in the middle of hot-ass weather. Just boar's head. We love boar's head. Personally, I like the, the Cajun turkey and the pesto parmesan ham. Here we go, now the game's moving again. If you would do that, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. My wife and I are going to lose our minds if we can finally find some boar's head again. Like, I've never found any other deli meat that's as good. Most of it, you can taste like the filler. Okay, so we're set up for bonus hunger now. I've got 4 extra mana I can spend. I think I want to put out the champion. So when the counters drop for the bonus hunger, champion gets beefy. And then I'm just going to pass and wait to drop the hunger when I'm ready. Because it's instant speed. Oh yeah, so good. As long as no one else board wipes in that time frame. Hi, Max. We have other kitties now. And we've got Meatball sitting on camera today doing nothing. I think they're going to tell I have some kind of instant up since I'm holding priority. Uh-oh, that's a lot of mana. Expel? Something that makes X tokens? Or is it all going into me? I'm making a lot of tokens. Oh, Rhys is making double tokens. Oh, this is going to make the bonus hunger so good. Oh my god. I'm excited. Pass your attack phase. I want my opponent to play some creatures too. Or my other opponent, I mean. I'm getting excited. Are you getting excited watching the stream? You know what's coming. I'm about to have a massive motherfucking bonus hunger. And my creatures are going to get like fucking 10 +1/+1 counters on them. So far it's 8 counters, counting the creatures. Do my excited dance. Try not to break my chair. I know I don't weigh enough to break my chair. It's okay. I'm just being goofy. Because I am very excited. Terastodon. Okay, I might have to do it with that on the stack because that's going to target my stuff. Let's see what they're targeting first. I know Volrath Stronghold is going to be one. Mary's Guile and Thran Dynamo might be the other targets. Hey, I called them all perfectly. Yeah, I'm going to throw it on the stack now. City's Blessing. Now make my creatures bigger, bitches. Make my creatures all bigger. Probably should have waited till I got the elephant token, but it still works. Oh yeah, there it is. Told you shit was gonna get big. Oh yeah, it's rounded up. God damn, Mazirek is good. And Champion gets bigger, so now all my creatures are unblockable. Oh, this just gets worse. Hardened Scales followed by Torment of Hailfire. Oh, I feel like a bad person, but it feels so good. It's just for 3. Nichols in Liverpool. Look it up.
What is it called?
Nichols, Nichols.
Okay.
Rachel, look it up. Mark site.
I'm getting really tired.
Oh, it's only 9:30.
Yeah, I woke up early this morning.
I know. I should be done streaming in a little bit. I think the game's locked down. I kill one player here. And maim the other one. Let's see. 3, 14, 25. It's going to get higher in a second. I should wait to do the math. Do I have to click that? Okay, doing combat math. Shit! I hit the wrong button. Oh my god. Well, guess I'm getting board wiped now. They're open 9 to 5 tomorrow. Wow, even on the holiday?
I want to call first. 'Cause I'm
Okay.
not driving all the way out there.
Yeah, no, I hear you. We're gonna go out to do some Pokemon, right?
Yeah. They may not be open.
I like the reaction to me accidentally skipping my attack phase. I cannot believe I derped that up.
They have Boar's Head meat. Yay!
If you look up their weekly ad, it says they're open for the holiday. Yeah, we are so
It's
there.
kind of shitty making your employees come in.
Yeah. That's retail for you.
You know.
Retail
Yeah.
and food service don't have great track records for taking care of employees. What was that? Totally missed that card. Oh shit, that's bad for me. Almost tapped out at least. I can still play a morph creature. So let's see if I can find a way to win here. Any creatures in graveyards I want to animate? Not really. Okay, just in case something bad happens, I'm casting Blood Artist before I attack. Okay, let's do some math. They're at 21. So we only need to send 2 creatures that way. Then we can send everything else the other way. And win right the fuck now. Holy shit. That's terrifying. Getting it ready just in case. They can't block anything because of the Champion of Landhold. They need 19 power or higher to be able to block. I love how my top deck is a board wipe. Ooh, there's a better selection if we go to Sparras in Cicero.
Oh, you can look that up.
Okay. I'm about to win the game here. Oh, I got a link. Sparras.net. You want me to spell it? You got your browser open.
No, I'm tired and I want to go do the trash can today.
We will do that in just a minute. I'm just waiting for people to progress the game. Just waiting on someone to click OK. That's cool. I've got some free time. I might swing by there myself on Thursday. Thank you very much for these recommendations. I'm like screen capturing that for later. If this person will finally choose OK to death, maybe we can like get on with our evening. Hello. Oh, cool. That's good to know. I've been looking for a place where I can get custom meat cut. I like my steak like super, super lean, and like all I can find at the grocery store is super marbled. Maybe I can get lucky going there. Yeah, getting it direct from the butcher is usually cheaper too. Maybe the last couple.
Okay.
Is someone gonna like choose OK so the game can end? Please. Oh, don't put their phone number on the stream. Everyone's gonna see that. Oh well, I guess free advertising. Go there for your 75% off Wegmans Butcher's Meat. Product placement, pay me. You can get butchered just as hard as my opponents are right now. I think Silver might have just rage quit here. Facing down this horrible, like 1717 Oracle Moldaya of all things. My 9/9 elephant token. Are they here or not? Come on, I want credit for my win. Show up already.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 hours of drinking, yeah.
I'm gonna go take a shower and go to bed.
Hang on, I'm ending the game now. Hold on. Be patient. I'm on camera. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and end the game. We've got the win. Silly people, and they're not wanting to, like, let the game end, so they just rage quit. Anyway, that's how we design the deck, and you can see how well it worked on the first try. So if you want to hook up with any more of my stuff, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at SkySpider. You can see this video later on my YouTube, Jade Skywalker, or any of my other videos. And you can find all my music, which has been playing in the background tonight, on all streaming and download sites under the name The Eternal. So for Meatball and for me, have a good night, and we will see you later.